Hey everybody, Dr. Adam Vega here again with the Nifty Thrifty Dentist Podcast, where we're bringing on a bunch of successful dentists that we see all over Facebook.
So I want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, MVP Mailhouse. Now, if you're thinking about doing mailers to get new patients, MVP Mailhouse is the go-to company for dentists. To learn more about them and our nifty deal, make sure you check out the show notes and also the description below.
Today, I got Dr. Tyler Brady on, going to be helping us out and seeing what he does that makes him unique. He's got a lot of cool things going on. And so, Tyler, welcome on. Glad to have you.
Thanks. It's awesome to be here. I've been part of Nifty Thrifty my whole career actually, so I'm glad we're doing this. It's cool.
Oh man. Well, glad to have you on. And tell me what's going on. Where are you from? Give me a little bit of background about yourself.
Yeah, so I grew up in Portland, Oregon. Went to school at BYU, Idaho, and then went to dental school in Boston at Tufts University. Graduated from there in 2016 and moved here to Dallas. Started working for a DSO, and then a year later, I opened up my own place, which is where I am now. And it's been crazy ever since.
There you go. And how long ago was that? How long you've had your own?
I think we officially opened our doors February 2018.
Okay. Nice.
So 6.5 years now.
There we go. Why dentistry, man? How'd you get into dentistry?
So I was one of those kids, like every kid, especially little guys. I never brushed my teeth. So I always had cavities, and my uncle was my dentist. So I would go visit him and he would give me shots and drills and all the things. And I feel like I hated it, and so I wanted to control it more, and so I wanted to learn more about it. Instead of running away, I ran towards it. And so he opened up an assisting school while I was in high school. I went and did that, took that, and I just fell in love with dentistry. I wanted to do something where I could help people and still be home with my kids later on. And yeah, I worked my butt off in college and got in and found out I'm actually decent at it too.
That's always a relief a little bit, right? I know we all kind of get in there and it's like, I really don't know what I don't know, right? And it gets
Yeah,
to wax
yeah,
get going. So that's makes it a little bit easier, I think, right?
yeah,
Oh man. So now you're in Dallas. Sounds like you've been all over the place. Um,
yeah.
let's jump into kind of the business side. I like kind of the meat and potatoes. Just let's see what we can teach people out there about some of your successes. So give me a little bit of background about your office, your business. How'd you come up
Okay.
with it? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I mean, the name Haven Dental, I worked on that all through college, all through dental school. Like, what can I name this place? I know I want to be a dentist. I know I want to own my own office. So, what's a name that's going to feel welcoming and classy, but it's not like centered on me. It's centered on like our philosophy, our core values. And so it took clear through dental school and everything to come up with the name. And I was like, oh, Haven, that's perfect. That's exactly the word I want. So we did that. Um, and I started talking online with some dentists who are kind of leaders in the industry, especially with social media, and like getting those core values down was super, super important to me. And we still base all of our hires, all of our decisions, everything we do off of those three, which is trust, service, and progression. So we do everything we can to stick to that. And I feel like it's done pretty well. Obviously, anybody who's owned a small business knows you can't learn about small business until you've owned a small business.
Just do it.
And there's a huge risk in that because you kind of have to learn as you go. You can read all the books you want. You can study. I'm a business major. I went and learned marketing. I went and learned accounting, and nothing can replace just getting in there and making a disaster for a while. And yeah.
I like that. That's pretty good. I got an MBA in night school during dental school,
Thanks.
thinking like, oh man, I got it right. It's going to
I'll
be
be
easy.
solid. And then you're
Uh,
like,
what
how
in the
do I deal with a 1-star review?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Going through. and the team
Yeah.
and all that. So
Yeah.
you mentioned some mentors that kind of helped you along the way. When did you realize you needed that help? And tell me a little bit about kind of the help that you got.
I mean, I've always kind of gravitated towards that. Glenn was a big one, actually. He's just a few minutes north of me.
Cool.
Um, I saw I saw the value of social media pretty early on. Even in college, I started using it for hobbies of mine, and I got a pretty decent following doing that. And then when I got out of dental school, I was like, okay, I really need to start focusing on this. And then when I opened my practice, it became like a a business that I had to run on the side of my office. And Anissa Holmes was a huge part of that. That's when her delivering wow thing was really um, growing and becoming a big deal. And she's been helpful. I mean, there's been a lot of people that have just taken a few steps ahead of me, and I can kind of learn from a few of their mistakes and their examples. And then also, I have friends who are influencers and things that aren't in dentistry that I see, and I see how they do things, and we talk about kind of new trends and things going on. And I just feel like it's so important, and I'm glad that I saw it back then because now it's essential. Like if you're not on social media, you have to be, I don't know, a wizard to be able to get patients in the door. It's crazy.
The wizards are out there. So, uh,
Yeah.
the coaching and Facebook has been amazing. I mean, our connection started
Yeah.
there. You and Glenn probably started around there as well.
Yeah.
There's so much great advice. There's a lot of stuff you got to dig through as well. It's social media, right?
Yeah.
But taking that next step of knowing that, hey, I need help, I need coaching, and making that investment. I mean, what advice do you have somebody kind of in your position early on or thinking they need to make that change of actually diving in and making that investment in their business?
Yeah. I think it's a double-edged sword. I think you have to find the right person that fits your personality. I've had financial advisors, I've had people that I've worked with that just didn't click, where it wasn't something where I felt like I was actually making progress. So you have to find somebody or find a company that really can get what you need, and it's not a one size fits all. So developing good relationships, and Facebook is an awesome place to do that because you can create these casual relationships. Like you and I have never met in person, but we know each other.
Yeah.
And similar with Glenn, I think I've actually been face to face with him like 4 or 5 times, but
Right.
like I know his wife, I know what his kids do, like we know a lot about each other. And so it's nice because you can kind of develop those friendships and then see, oh, you're doing this or you're doing that. Can you tell me more about that? And then you can create a business relationship with someone you trust. And I mean, it's not always going to be 100% perfect, but it gives you a lot more information than just looking someone up in the yellow pages and saying, hey, I need a marketing company. Can you help me?
Yeah.
Because they're going to say, yeah. Who's going to say no to business?
Every time, man. I know the marketing ones, even they start making fun of themselves now. They're like, "Oh, you asked a marketing question, man. Your DMs are about to
Like,
blow up,
oh,
right?"
good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good luck. It's not happening. Um, cool. So let's jump back into the business a little bit. I mean, obviously, you're doing something a little different out there. Tell me a little bit about your practice, the number of ops, kind of how your workflow works. Jump into
Yeah. So, we have two dentists, me and my associate. We have 6 ops, 2 hygienists. We work 4 days a week, and we do really good work. I'm really proud of what we do. We have an in-house lab, and I don't mean just a Ceramill. We have multiple milling machines that do 20 units at a time. We've got 3 technicians and a ceramist. So it's a big operation back there, and it's a whole other business too. It has its own headaches and things. But I'm really proud of the way we treat our patients and the things that we do for them. I feel like it really sets us apart. We have some some big names that come in every now and then, and it's really flattering. We have people that come from across the country, people that will drive 6 hours to get a cleaning. We had one lady come here clear from Philadelphia to get a cleaning, and I was like, that's you can't be anything but grateful for that. I mean,
yeah,
that's every dentist's dream of being that dentist where people come from far away just to see you and meet you and be a part of what you're doing. That's a huge compliment.
yeah. If I ask that patient, why did she come see you? Like that's big, right? Why did she
Yeah.
that way? How'd she find you, and why did she stay?
Yeah, I think the secret really is that I put myself out there on social media. I have a problem of being my authentic self online. It's bit me in the butt a couple times, but most of the time, people, it's the same thing. They feel like they know me when they come in. I always tell other dentists, I have yet to ever sell a treatment plan to a patient. They come in knowing what they want or knowing that they need help and they trust me. I get a lot of patients that say, I'll just go off of your recommendation. And if we can make it work with the budget that I have, then it's a no-brainer. And I'm super, super proud of that because I feel like that's one of the harder things in dentistry is getting patients to accept treatment. But being online so much, they feel like they know who I am. And when they come into the office, that is who I am. I'm not fake online. I'm myself, and they see that, and it's great. Everyone's happy about it.
Nice.
So,
So you were very intentional, kind of coming out of school. You said, looking for the name the whole time. Um,
yeah.
the location, how'd you get into the location where you are right now? How intentional was
Oh
that?
man, it fell into my lap. It was one of those. So I had friends that had graduated before me that worked here in Dallas, and I knew I wanted to come here-ish. And so I flew into Dallas and I was taking an Uber from the airport to my friend's house. And we drove through this town that my office is now in. And I just like, oh, this is a nice spot. This would be a nice place to have an office. And I get to their house and I'm like, hey, what's South Lake like? And they're like, oh my gosh, there's probably 100 dentists on that main road. And the rent is probably 3 times higher there than anywhere else. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Whatever. And a year later, I'm driving down the road with my dad, and we're just talking about opening this place up. And we see a sign that says for lease. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just call and see. I just want to know $70 a square foot, or what are we talking here? And I call, and the landlord is like, I have one spot left. It's 3,000 square feet, and the rent is this much. And if you want it, it's yours. And it was actually lower than other places I was looking. And so it fell into my lap. I couldn't have asked for a better spot. It's 10 minutes from the airport, so people can just take an Uber there from out of town. It's I got lucky for sure.
There's a big piece of that, right? Kind of be prepared, knowing what you want, and then finding out
Yeah.
it just falls in your lap.
Yeah.
You're again, I'll go back to you're doing things differently, right? You have an in-house lab, you got people coming from across the country. You've had that level of intentionality throughout. Um, where did you start in your business thinking about what you wanted to do to where you are right now? Did you have any big pivots in there, or did you know like, hey, we're going to be doing stuff differently. We're going to bring in a lab so that we can control the product that we're putting out. Um, Tell me about that progression there.
Yeah, no, I didn't really start out like I'm gonna have a lab, I'm gonna have this, I want people coming from all over the country. It was really just I wanted to help people. I wanted to put my heart into something and give them 100% of me. And I wasn't even planning on being a cosmetic dentist. We do a lot of like big cosmetic cases, and I just wanted to do like the best root canals and the best fillings and the best crowns for my patients. And I hate the dentist. Like I said, when I was a kid, I didn't enjoy those visits to my uncle's office. And so I wanted to maybe cater towards those patients that don't particularly have good experiences and just show them like you can have a slower pace, like caring experience and get good results. And it started with that, and it just kind of became like cases got bigger, they got more complicated, and then I went and developed my skills to where I could handle those. And now it's just turned into this thing of it was my dream as a kid. Like, oh man, you hear about these dentists with patients coming from across the country to see them. Like, that was pie in the sky for me. That'd be nice one day, but it wasn't ever the goal. It was really just like, I just want to really take care of people and make them feel like they're not a number in the system.
Yeah, for sure. Give
And
them.
people gravitate towards that.
Yeah, I like that. Very consistent across everything. It sounds like you're doing. What's your day look like? You're saying the office is open about 4 days a week.
Woo!
What's your average day look like?
Um, I wake up. I used to go to the gym in the morning with my wife. She's actually in dental school right now in LA, so we've got this long distance thing. She's here for a break right now. She's going back Monday, but That's a whole other thing. But we would wake up, go to the gym. We'd get to work about 7:30, get everything set up. We have our morning huddle. First patient's at 8 o'clock. I usually will see two or three, 1 to 3 patients in my big treatment column doing veneers or implants in the morning, and then 1 to 3 in the afternoon. And then I kind of have my consult column of like maybe a filling or extraction, little things there. Um, Lunch, do it again for 4 hours. I'm done about 5 o'clock, and then come home. I'm on Instagram way too much, answering DMs. I think that's another secret. I was just teaching some dentists last night on a Zoom call. The way to grow your practice, especially initially, is really, again, putting your time and effort into that. When patients can DM you and they know that it's you, they're blown away. They go, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's the doctor that's actually answering my questions." They're expecting a marketing person or a social media manager or something. And so that's actually gotten me a lot of business of just being there available, not 24/7, but just when I have time, pull it out, answer a question. How much is a consult?
Mhm.
When can you get me scheduled? And it's done really well that way, just putting a little more effort, just adding that extra little touch on things as far as customer service goes a long way.
Gotcha.
So, and then I just wake up and do it again. Monday through Thursday, Friday, sleep in, do a podcast. And yeah, weekends are for rest. Now weekends, so I'll leave my office Thursday right after work, go straight to the airport and fly to LA to visit my wife
There you go.
and
Hey,
spend the
she
whole
just
weekend.
started. You got 4 more years of that?
She's an international student, so she's got a year and a half left. So
Okay.
she finished her first semester, and
There you go.
it was rough, but we're doing good now. These breaks in between help out a lot.
Yeah, for sure. I like that. My wife's an orthodontist now, so we met in school, and it's amazing how many people, have those relationships in dental, right? Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
and then you've got an associate going on. Do you have plans of your wife coming in as well someday?
yeah, for sure. So this coming year, we're looking at getting into a bigger location where we can have 4 dentists full time. Um, that's a few things have to happen before that does, but we've got a year and a half to figure it out. So yeah, we're planning on bringing her in. My associate's planning on staying and partnering, and then we'll find someone else.
There you go, man. And so
Yeah.
obviously that upward trajectory doesn't sound like you're slowing down. What does the future look like for you? Yeah.
I think physically I'm slowing down.
Yeah.
The future, I've said this for years. I feel like I'm just getting started, and I might feel that way my whole career. I feel like there's so many things that I want to do with my career as far as helping people and creating good jobs and creating a good place to be in general. Um, I mean, if I told you the thoughts in my head right now, people would just think I'm nuts. I think they've thought I'm nuts for a while now. So, I'm working on a TV show. I'm working on I want to open a 50,000 square foot office with everybody included, like a daycare, like all the things so people can have a place. I feel like, yeah, people come and they don't know what to do with their kids. It's like, oh, here's a little
Yeah.
playground they can play on for a while, get some snacks, and I don't know. There's a lot of crazy things going on in my head.
There you go. Definitely have to check back in the next, few years, 5 years, figure it out.
Yeah.
Because
And
I
I'll
see
just be like, none of it worked out.
none of
I
it
need to get
worked.
out of here.
No, I think it'll be pretty good. And I hear, so I worked in a place that was kind of like that right out of school. I was a 3-story building the guy just created, had
Oh,
everything inside of it, had a training program and everything. And he didn't
awesome.
really have a plan to kind of support it. So it kind of fizzled out.
Yeah,
It was kind of crazy, and being straight out of school, I didn't know what I didn't know.
for
But
sure.
you have some other things going on too, like talking about like starting to teach kind of how you do things.
Yeah,
You
so
go into
I've
that a little?
had recently, just like in the last year, I've had dentists like, hey, can you teach me how to do the things you do, like veneers or marketing and stuff? And so it's funny because I actually ran into Glenn at a conference a few months ago and was kind of telling him like, yeah, I'm going to start doing this hands-on veneer course. And he's like, hey, I'm building a facility and I have sponsors and we're looking for people to come in and teach. these new grads or people that just want to get things rolling, is that something you want to do? I was like, this is exactly what I need. I have the know-how of the clinical side, and I'm trying to figure out how to get people to come and like where's the sweet spot of time spent while they're getting a good experience, and he's going to facilitate that, which so him and I were having regular phone conferences with people, and I'm really excited. It's going to be awesome. He is building a really high quality place for people that want to raise their game and don't have $1 million. I love being a part of that sort of thing where we're not catering to just the elite dentists. We want to get everyone up a level. I feel like, and I think a lot of dentists feel like the quality of education we're getting just isn't what it used to be.
Fair.
Um, and part of that's just keeping up with technology. It's just so hard for schools to go buy 40 new milling units because they're the new version. I mean, that's a big expense. So I'm glad that Glenn is doing something like this, and I'm glad I can be a part of it. And so far, the feedback that we've had from the courses that I've done has been awesome. So I'm really excited to be able to really give that to more and more people.
Awesome, man. And what's the future look like on that? Something coming pretty quick or in the
Yeah,
next
we're
or
trying
so?
to get a course like October, November started. We're finalizing his facility isn't even going to be done yet, but he says he has friends with facilities that we can use. So we're just getting things organized, and I think we're going to start getting word out for people pretty soon. It'll probably be a smaller class size to start, maybe like 10 people. But then after we kind of get all the kinks worked out, I'm excited it'll be really fun. I think
Nice.
I've made a lot of mistakes, and I'm glad to share those with people who don't like making mistakes as much.
Yeah,
It's going
there
to
you
be
go.
good.
So give me something here. I'm wanting to get into veneers. What's kind of
Mhm.
some of the biggest hurdles or things that I should really be paying attention to up that game just right off the bat?
Yeah, I mean, having a macro approach to, okay, we're treating the whole mouth, we're treating the face, like it's not just teeth. There's a lot of things going on. But then being able to zero on the micro too, and like, okay, how's the margin fit? How's this embrasure looking? Like being able to do both of those things at the same time can be kind of tricky. And so developing that skill of kind of having dual vision, I think is important. And then I feel like the best way to focus on getting good results is focusing on being as minimally invasive as possible and still being able to accomplish what you want. I feel like patients, we all know, are more and more educated. The internet has done an awesome job at showing people what not to do and being able to show your patients. Like I sent a guy the other day, my preps, like here's what this looks like, and he was like, "Oh, you can't even tell." I was like, "Exactly, that's what we want." And so being able to teach dentists of like you only have to take off this much to get these results, I think instills a lot of confidence in them. But then learning the protocol of how to do that in a predictable way can be kind of tricky. So those are the things that I've learned, and I'm so excited to be able to share that with people. I think it would have helped me a ton.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, just getting out and hands-on, right? You hear about it, and there's 50 ways to do everything in dentistry. And I
Yeah.
heard you talk about protocols there, so having systems in place. What's a little system in your business or in your life that you're like, man, that's a huge thing that I have to make sure I do all the time for making your day easier or helping out with patients? What's a system in your life that you're like, man, this is everybody should be doing this?
I think something that I'm really doing right now that I've seen a lot of good results with is just trying to cut things out that aren't as important as you think they were. I think decluttering your life, decluttering your thoughts, minimizing your stress by just letting things take their course instead of trying to force. It's really hard, but just kind of going in Zen mode every day and just going like, okay, what do I really need to focus on right now? And trying to focus on that, I think has made a big impact on me. It brings a lot of clarity to those little things that you have to take care of throughout the day.
Nice.
And it helps you realize that most things don't matter as much as you thought they did. And that helps you
Yeah.
get them done also, where you're like,
Yeah.
let's just do this. We'll see how it goes.
Nice.
Sometimes it doesn't work, and that's okay. And sometimes it works, and that's great too. So just being okay with whatever happens, I think is helps you sleep at night, which gives you energy for the next one.
I felt the whole thing just get a little more relaxed there. Like I just,
Yeah, just
oh, I like
let life happen sometimes. It's okay. We don't have to force everything. I think as dentists, we're all trained to get A's, to get top of the class, to get the application done, to get everything done, and to be type A personalities. And it's great to be an achiever, but sometimes it's great to just enjoy what you have and take a breath and I mean just being grateful. It's weird. I know that sounds like super Zen master of me, but gratitude has helped me with a lot because there's hard things in life. I mean, we have tight months where payroll is going to be tight this time. And I mean, I miss my wife when she's out of town. But then if I think about, well, she's in an awesome program and she's going to be a dentist when she's done and we get to work together. And I have this amazing practice that usually does really well every month, but some months it's a little tight. I can be grateful for those good months. And then it helps you get through the tricky times and helps you kind of make it to tomorrow.
I love it, man. My son is 11 months old now. So, talk about
Yeah,
something that puts your life in perspective and, just wanting to be a little more present, right? So, just,
for
just
sure.
little things. So, every morning, that's what we're trying to do right before I jumped on here with you. Just, he's starting to walk. So, we're just,
Oh,
just
cool.
walking around the house. He's just having a good time. So, just
That's
being
the
present
best.
there. And then on to the next thing. I'm like, I go talk to Tyler and get going here. So,
Yeah, I'm
uh,
back.
love that. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate it. I want to go jump into our next level here. I don't want to take too much more of your time, but we've got a session here where we go the 3x level up. So essentially, obviously, you're doing things, really big things, a lot of great things coming down the pike for you, and you've already built something that was really, really kind of unique there. And so just kind of pull some things out of your brain here, just kind of a quick fire. And the first 3x level up here is a tip or a tool. What's a tip or a tool you couldn't live without? Anything that you feel helps you be more successful in life or business?
The thing that this is easy. Just do it. Just try it. Just go. Don't, it's never going to be the right time. It's never going to be the right budget. It's like having kids. When's the best time to have a kid? Well, never and always. So if you want to have kids, then just have a kid. If you want to try something, plan it out, but it's never going to be the perfect moment. So, I mean, and my dad taught me that getting into dental school. I wasn't sure if I would get in. He said, well, just apply. You have to try. And I got in, and that changed my life forever. So just try it.
Perfect, man. Take action. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. What about past failures? You mentioned we all mess up. We've all been there. We make a ton of mistakes, but we do our best to learn from them. What is the past mistake that you learned from the most?
Read your contracts.
Oh no.
We were just talking about that this morning. Read every contract.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, that's it. That's probably the big one.
That one's probably got a story behind it. We'll leave that for another day.
Yeah.
Very clear cut. Read the
Too
contract.
soon.
Yeah, yeah. With a lawyer. Yeah,
Yes,
there you go.
preferably with the lawyer.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah.
Hopefully that you get that taken care of since you were talking this morning. Jeez.
Yeah.
All right. Our next 3x level up is advice for your younger self. You're in a spot where you probably haven't really thought about being there. What advice would you give to your younger self, knowing what you know today?
I think it goes along with the first thing. You have no idea what you're capable of, is what I would tell my younger self. Like every human has so much power in them to do things that they didn't think they could do. And you can do it. We're all amazing. And it's a people need to hear that more often, I think.
Nice, man.
Sorry, I didn't mean it.
I was about to say,
That's a deep feeling for me
nice,
because I didn't think that about myself.
nice. Where's that feeling coming from?
I mean, I never thought I would have a $3 million practice. And I think I could have a $30 million practice. And it's not because of the money, it's because I want to see people succeeding and I want to see dentists having good jobs and assistants coming to work and smiling and hygienists proud of what they do for a living. You can build something that can change so many people's lives, even if it's just one person. I mean, we have an amazing ability to change someone's life. And you can do that as much as you want. If you put effort in, you can build that $1 million practice. You can build that whatever you're imagining is your subconscious creating that. You've already started. When you imagine that, you're already started in the creation mode. And if you keep building on that in your mind, eventually you can make that reality. And that's super, super powerful. And a lot of people try to convince you otherwise, and they can just take a hike and go be negative somewhere else.
I love it, man. I don't know if we can end on anything better than that. Everybody out there watching, I mean, you see this guy on Facebook all the time. He's doing a lot of big things. This course coming up, I'm going to help promote him any way I can on Facebook, but it sounds like one that we all need to be to, if nothing else, just to be around him a little bit more to get this kind of passion for what he's building.
I
Um,
appreciate that.
so, Tyler, any last words you want to kind of throw out there?
It's always harder than you think it's going to be. Hang in there.
Hang in there. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Nifty Thrifty Dentist, thank you for watching here today. Make sure you connect. If you see this guy posting something, you probably want to take it seriously. So that's why we're doing this, just to get to know the people behind the Facebook all the time. So join us next time and make sure you reach out and say hello to Tyler and check out his course when he comes up. Okay. All right, Tyler. We'll see you
Thank
next
you.
time.
See ya.
Here. Thanks.